Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we have got our week 6 battle of the BBR. We're going up against my good friend Shayquaza and his Dallas Starmies. I forgot his team name for a moment there. So I'm going to be honest, I thought I recorded a team builder before we battled, and I've gone to edit today and realised I never actually recorded a team builder, so yeah, I'm a little bit behind. This is a good battle though. Since we've already had it, definitely stick around for the game because it's one of the best ones we've had this season. Personally for me, just going into this game, I want to play better than I have been. I feel like I'm really not been playing well at all. So yeah, my only real goal for this game was just to play well and have a respectable result. But you'll see in the battle how things go. But without further ado, let's get into the team builder. So first up, I forgot to get his team up. I know he has Urshifu. You're going to be able to see it on the screen whilst I fumble around trying to get his team up real quick. Okay, so he has Urshifu, Single Strike, Azumarill, Blastoise, Toxtricity, Decidueye, Flygon, Piloswine, Alolan Dugtrio, Rapidash, and Thwackey. That Thwackey is a big threat. Like, I am a man of culture. I appreciate the Thwackey, and I think we should be able to deal with it just fine. I don't actually think it's going to come against us, but it is a low tier threat that's actually really good. Looking at his team, the Urshifu single strike, 100% that's coming. I think the Azumarill and the Blastoise will both come. Toxtricity and Decidueye I think are absolute definites against my team. And then it's really like one of like maybe his ground types, maybe he brings Rapidash. Other than that, like his team is just a really weird kind of team. He has 3 ground types, he has 2 grass types, he has 2 water types. I'm trying to see if there's any other type. That's the only ones that have like dual typings. It's a little bit of an odd team, but it's still very threatening. We don't have a ground type, so Toxtricity kind of gets to click Volt Switch for free. But we do have our way of checking it, which it's not going to hold up for the full game. But it should be able to switch in enough, hopefully, to a point in which that Toxtricity is going to be weakened sufficiently for me to be able to come in with something else and knock it out. I kind of expected to do Choice Band Urshifu. I expected maybe a Belly Drum Azumarill, maybe a Salt Vest actually to take on Indeedee and Keldeo on my team. Blastoise probably going to be Shell Smash, could potentially be defensive, but I think like Shell Smash set could probably sweep me if I play it badly. Decidueye is most likely going to be some kind of bulkier set. I don't see it being like Choice Banded. I think that's got a bad matchup, especially against like Vileplume and Skarmory on my side. Things like Flygon, Piloswine, and Dugtrio, I feel like they're all not that great in this matchup. I can actually check them pretty well with my Skarmory, and Skarmory just roosts up on them pretty much for free. Body Press will do a ton of damage to all 3 of them, so I don't think any of those 3 are coming. Maybe Flygon if any. Piloswine possibly, because my team isn't great against ice types, but it's alright against ground types, so I don't know. That kind of balances itself out. Rapidash could be here as like a choice scarf option. It has good coverage to hit my team. Could also be defensive to deal with things like the Weavile and be like a switch into things like Skarmory into Vileplume. So that's also an option. And if Thwackey comes, I expect it to probably be like an Eviolite pivot kind of set. But yeah, I don't see Thwackey coming. Realistically, the biggest threat on his team is that Urshifu. We just got to hope that he isn't choice banded, basically. If he isn't banded, we have a better way of dealing with it. Outside of that, it's just pick a sack, pretty much, against my team. Even Skarmory gets 2-hit KO by choice band. So, without further ado, let's get into the team. So, first up, we have got our Indeedee. Let me just change it to the moves so you can see them. With Expanding Force, Hyper Voice, Dazzling Gleam, and Mystical Fire, we are choice Scarf this week. This is because I believe that he's probably going to be choice banded. Urshifu will be Scarfed, then we know that, and we can actually switch into our Skarmory and be able to check it just fine. I say just fine, it's still, as always, a big threat to my team. But, yeah, like, if it's outspeeding... Bro, I have 2 Indeedees next to each other. Yeah, if it's outspeeding my Indeedee, then I know it's choice Scarf. And that's valuable information. This does outspeed a choice Scarf Toxtricity, which is the main reason that I'm bringing it. It also outspeed things like the Flygon if it's not choice Scarf itself, and Rapidash, Dugtrio, Alolan. Like it's pretty quick against, like pretty good against his team generally because his Dark type. Bro, what is happening with my Joy-Cons are just doing its own thing. Yeah, you just saw a sneak peek at my previous team if you didn't watch that video already. But yeah, it's got a pretty good matchup against his team. There's really not many things on his team that wants to switch into Expanding Force. Outside of the Urshifu, and that doesn't want to take Dazzling Gleam. Doesn't realistically want to take 2 Hyper Voices either. So Hyper Voice is fairly spammable if the Decidueye goes down. We can literally just click it for free and do 50% to anything on his team that isn't like Assault Vest Azumarill or potentially even an Assault Vest Urshifu. You never know, it could happen. I actually think it's not a bad set, considering its special defense is quite poor. It actually makes up for it. Outside of that, we've got Mystical Fire. Just what is happening with these Joy-Cons? I need to change them out for another pair, I think. Yeah, Mystical Fire is there for the Decidueye and the Thwackey, should you bring it. It's the move that, well, it doesn't hit him hardest. Expanding Force still hits him hardest, but if I have to make a middle ground play and it seems quite likely he's going into his Decidueye or his Thwackey, then I can click Mystical Fire, and it also hits like the Urshifu if it comes in. It'll still do damage to the Blastoise and the Azumarill. It'll do reasonable damage to Toxtricity. So it's just an all-round kind of like okay move to click, and obviously Dazzling Gleam is just there for the Urshifu. Next up, we have got, as you saw, we have Phil, our Skarmory with Body Press, Toxic, Spikes, and Roost. This set is like it's basically here to take a hit, if not 2 hits from Urshifu. It also checks all of his physical attackers really well. However, it does kind of invite in his Toxtricity a little bit. So he's got the Spikes in case he doesn't want to bring any of his removal. The Decidueye seems likely to be running Defog. If not, Blastoise probably has Rapid Spin and be defensive. If it's a defensive Blastoise, then I'd love to get a Toxic off on it. It gets a Toxic off on a Azumarill and can slowly just wear away at it, as long as it's not the what's it called, Belly Drum set. Forgot the move. Then we should be okay against that. Decidueye, we can Toxic that. We can't really do a whole lot else to it, but then it can't do a massive amount back to us. So actually, we would probably win that 1v1 if it's getting Toxic. And yeah, really, it just gets a free Toxic off on anything that's not Toxtricity on his team. And realistically, we need to switch out if Toxtricity comes in anyway. Spikes are just nice. It hits everything on his team, barring Flygon. And like his ways of getting rid of hazards still have to take hazards if they're to switch in. So Decidueye would have to take a round of Spikes before clicking Defog, and then we can just Toxic it. And then other than that, Body Press just kind of hits a lot of his team for reasonably good damage. It hits the Urshifu for super effective damage. It hits the Pilswine, the Dugtrio for super effective damage, and just has the best all-round damage against the team without me taking Recoil, because I don't really want to be taking Recoil if I'm using this to check his Urshifu. So next up we have got Saucy the Rabombi with U-Turn, Moonblast, Psychic, and Quiver Dance. We have an odd set. I believe we've got Heavy Duty Boots on this. Where's the items? Heavy Duty Boots, yeah. Obviously this was like a week ago we battled, so I don't fully remember. My Skarmory has Rocky Helmet as well, by the way, just to get that chip damage on his physical attackers. The only thing it doesn't get chip damage on is the Decidueye is running Long Reach, because that ability stops the effects of things like Iron Barbs, Rough Skin, and Rocky Helmet. So yeah, moving on, we have Rabombi here. U-Turn is kind of just free. I can just keep clicking it and expecting things like the Toxtricity to come in. If I see like a AV Azumarill, something like that, then I'm fairly sure that that they're coming in. I can just keep clicking U-Turn. But also, Rabombi has a really nice position late game if it can set up with a Quiver Dance. It outspeeds everything on his team, and it can do a massive amount of damage to pretty much everything. The only things that its dual stabs weren't hitting was the Toxtricity, I believe, and the Alolan Dugtrio. But Alolan Dugtrio doesn't really have any HP stat, so it's not taking Moonblast particularly well. Psychic hits the Toxtricity for very good damage, so it's a potential late game win con if we just set it up. It's also kind of the most expendable mon on my team in a certain situation. Like, it's really just here for like an extra bit of potential setup, effectively. Like it's kind of weird. It's just really just a pivot and then to set up late game. It's not got a particularly great role in the game, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily give my opponent too much as well. If that makes any sense. Like if I was to bring thinking about it, something like Weavile. Like, he gets to switch into his water types so freely on Weavile that I just felt like it wasn't worth bringing this week. Sure, it was alright, but like a defensive Rapidash with Flame Body, if I get burned, then it's useless. Azumarill can come in on it. Blastoise, if it's defensive, absolutely can come in on it. So, yeah, I just felt like Rabombi was slightly less like crippling to my team. It still gives me the momentum I need to get into my more potent threats. And also keeps momentum on my side if he tries to go into things like Toxtricity. Then I can keep making sure I bring in DD and click in Hyper Voice, things like that. I think that Punk Rock actually works, that if you click Hyper Voice on it, it doesn't affect, like, it's not affected by sound-based moves. I could be wrong on that, but I'm fairly sure that's how it works. But anyway, moving on, we have got Big Dripper again. Goodra with the Assault Vest. This is our dedicated Toxtricity switch in. Sure, he's probably going to click Volt Switch, but it can take a Boomburst from Specs. It can take anything else that the Spec set wants to run. And it can do it pretty well. I don't believe he's going to be like a Shift Gear Throat Spray set simply because of this. Like, he can't set up with a Goodra just sat in front of him. Focus Blast does the most damage to Urshifu. And things like Piloswine and the Dug Trio. Thunderbolt hits his water types. It also... no, that's it. It just hits his water types. Earthquake is literally just there for Toxtricity. It will OHKO the Toxtricity unless it's Shocker. It also does hit things like the Rapidash and the Dug Trio as well, if I need it to. Ice Beam hits Decidueye, it hits Flygon, and it hits Thwackey. So pretty much coverage to hit his entire team. We're running fairly specially defensive to not be 3-hit KO'd by a modest Specs Boomburst from Toxtricity. And yeah, that's really just Goodra's role in this game, is to switch into that thing. Outside of that, maybe if he's like a Shell Smash Special Blastoise, I can actually take 2 Ice Beams and Thunderbolt should 2-hit KO Blastoise if it's Shell Smash. I think I've got enough defense in my Goodra to be able to live things like 1 Wicked Blow from a Choice Band. I think Jolly Choice Band Urshifu. I think Adamant kills me, but I have like a good chance to live Jolly Choice Band Wicked Blow and do a very, very good chunk in return with Focus Blast. Not necessarily how you want to use it, but as a last resort, it's there. Next up, we have got our Keldeo with Scald, Flip Turn, Aura Sphere, and Toxic. We're also holding a Roselli Berry, so obviously we're not doing a whole lot to Azumarill, but it's... Excuse me. There we go. We're not doing a whole lot to Azumarill, but if we can actually just stay in and Toxic it if it wants to try and predict me switching out and going into my Skarmory and going for Liquidation, or it wants to try and predict me to go into my Vileplume and go for Ice Punch, we resist both of them. So the Roselli Berry means that we can get a free Toxic off on it and then Flip Turn the next turn. We don't necessarily want to take the hit if we can potentially help it, but it's also there as a backup for Rapidash, because I looked at the matchup and I thought Rapidash with Play Rough makes way more sense than the Rapidash with Wild Charge. So I reckon it'll be like Flare Blitz and Play Rough. Maybe if he's a defensive set, then Will-O-Wisp and Morning Sun, something like that. He could also run High Horsepower for something on my team, Luxray, I guess. But yeah, Keldeo is just a nice pivot, and it should be able to kind of switch in on Rapidash every time, no problem. Scald is nice for burns, and Aura Sphere hits his Urshifu. I should actually OHKO his Urshifu unless it's got quite a bit of bulk. And yeah, other than that, burns are really nice against his team. Flip Turn is great for momentum, and Toxic is really just there for things like the Blastoise and the Azumarill if they want to switch in. And last up, we've got our Vileplume with Sludge Bomb, Leech Seed, Strength Sap, and Protect. Really just to be annoying against his team. Also to scout things like potential Specs Toxtricity, potential Choice Banded Azumarill, Choice Band Urshifu. Not that Urshifu really makes any difference as to what it clicks. It clicks Wicked Blow against my team and gets a kill. But also if we get Leech Seed on anything, then we can Protect, so we can Strength Sap. Sludge Bomb has a good chance to poison, as well as having Effect Spore to also get that extra chance for poison damage. This is just to be annoying. It literally, if he isn't Specs Toxtricity and he isn't Banded Urshifu, I think this can actually sit here and stall out his entire team. which which is really nice. And yeah, we can effectively just keep this in, and as long as we keep making the right plays and making clicking leech seed when we have to, and reading what he wants to go into, then realistically we can just stay in with our Vile Plume and whistle everything into range of our Ndidi, and we can just sweep that way, or we can sweep with our Ravombi late game. We have a couple of options, but that's pretty much the team. Like it's effectively just trying to chip things away to get it in range of either a Ravombi sweep or a Ndidi sweep, which is going to be tough either way because he definitely has his checks to him. I'm going to stop moving mons because that noise is probably getting annoying. But yeah, I will just preface the battle by saying that I had a Windows update just before the game, and actually didn't record any of my audio, so I'm going to be basically post-comming the first half of the battle with DC, and then the second half of the battle we played on Showdown, but it'll be live commed. So a bit of a mess of a battle, but I will see you there. Okay, so here we are for the battle, and if you missed the end of the team builder or you skipped it entirely, this game is going to be in two parts. The first part is going to be post-com Wi-Fi, and the second half is live com Showdown. So basically what happened was Windows did an update just before this battle, like literally a day before, and I'm completely unaware that it had changed my mic in my XSplit to who knows what, but it didn't pick up anything, and I didn't even check it before. I just assumed that my settings are all okay as they have been. And unfortunately, it didn't get any of my commentary for the first half of the game. So we are going to post-com the first half, and then when we get over to the Wi-Fi, to the Showdown bit, then it's going to be all live com again. We didn't manage to recreate perfectly in the Showdown game, but I'm not going to give too much more away. Looking at this matchup, the first thing that came to mind is that I just can't let Urshifu get basically a free kill from the start. So I decided to go into my Keldeo, and if he outsped me, there's a good chance that he is Choice Scarf, or in fact he would be Choice Scarf, and that's really good information for me. If he leads Toxtricity, then I've got Goodra. If he leads with anything else, I can just flip turn. So it seems like a fairly safe lead, and you can actually see that we lag quite a bit in this game. It's straight up from the off, we have a black screen for 10-15 seconds, which is not terrible. I've definitely had worse in a Wi-Fi game, but yeah, it definitely didn't have a good start to it. And he is indeed going to lead off with the Toxtricity, which is the worst case scenario realistically for me. Very unfortunate, but we are going to go into Goodra, but this is like a free volt switch. Every time Toxtricity comes in, it's basically a free volt switch. He gets all the switch initiative, and he can go into Urshifu at any point and just start clicking buttons. So I just don't have a switch in. I have to go into Goodra. It's all I can do. Nothing else on my team really wants to take a hit, especially because I haven't seen his set yet. I don't know whether he's Specs, whether he's Scarf, whether he's Assault Vest or something like that. So I decided to switch out. There's no point in risking my Keldeo turn 1 to a Scarf Toxtricity, and he goes with the Volt Switch here, and off the calc, that's definitely not Specs. That's no boosting item at all. And it looks timid, but it could also be bottom end modest. So he could have just got Minroll or Modest, or he could be timid. So it's really difficult to tell with that first hit, but it did do a relatively good amount of damage. And I think in a recreation it actually did less by 2 HP, and it would have made it so it was obviously timid, but spoilers, that thing is timid. At that point I'm like, okay, well, that's potentially Choice Scarf, maybe it's Assault Vest. We'll have to see, but it's definitely not Specs, and it's definitely not got any kind of boosting item for electric moves at least. Could be Silk Scarf or something like that. Could be what's the poison type one? I can't remember what the poison type boosting move is. Poison Bug. He goes out into the Decidueye, and you can see already from this timer, he hasn't really taken that long over his turns, but we're already lagging quite badly. I was very conscious of the timer in this game, and I think I was going to be playing pretty well to the timer. I think we had almost a minute, I want to say. I don't think it was that much, but we had a good amount of time over Shay left, as he just goes for the Poltergeist. This is kind of what I expected, and judging off of this, it was a really hard set to actually work out. It looks like it may, like, it definitely had attack investment, but I couldn't tell how much. It looked like it had maybe like around 100 EVs, give or take. But that was one that realistically was like quite difficult to work out, but it looked like it was maybe bulky. I was just going to set the spikes. I don't expect him to want to stay in because I would just roost. I was tempted to click roost anyway and get my sturdy back. Probably would be my play, to be honest, to keep us healthy, but I feel like he's going to go into his Toxtricity because he knows that every time he gets Toxtricity in, it's going to cause me some problems. So I'm just going to try and set up spikes and prevent him from being able to switch in and out freely. And every time that Toxtricity comes in, it's got to take spikes damage. Potentially, it's got to take some damage from a move as well. As he actually does this, does just switch out. Had he gone for Poltergeist, I would actually be in range, and I would have had to have gone out as my Vileplume and started playing around that. But our play kind of works out, and we get the spikes up here, as he's going to go back into his Toxtricity, which is really, really annoying for me, but at the same time, this is why I'm getting the spikes up, because I can't let him get the free switches every time this comes in, and when Decidueye comes in, like, I've got to start getting some damage somewhere, instead of just constantly like trying to keep momentum against like almost a losing battle. As I'm just going back into my Goodra. I don't know why I went up and down my team. I think I just do that when I'm thinking. Like, looking back, I think I have some weird habits that I do when I'm in a battle, but we're going to go back into Goodra. He's probably going to go for the Volt Switch again, and go back into Decidueye, and we're going to be in this loop forever. But at least the spikes mean that the that loop is not going to be too detrimental for me. But I should be able to tell from that calc actually that it was timid, because I don't think that roll was possible. If it was modest, I don't fully remember. This was about a week ago that I did this battle. So yeah, it's hard for me to remember like exact calcs. But also maybe things that I mentioned in my live comm in the showdown part that I mentioned here, or vice versa. Here my Joy-Cons are just having an absolute freak out, and I'm trying to get to Vileplume. I'm like, okay, are we good? Are we set? And then I think here it just like starts scrolling randomly. I think I go to do a quick calc just to make sure that Poltergeist isn't going to do too much damage, and then Joy-Cons start messing up again. But fortunately, I don't think it cost me at all in this game. I don't think I accidentally misclick on anything. I take, like, because I'm aware of the issue, that I then take my time over the moves a little bit more. But we're just going to go hard into Vileplume. Like, unless he has Brave Bird and clicks it here, then there's really nothing he can do. But he does just show the defog. And also, I forgot to mention that when he switched in, he didn't take Spikes damage. So we know he's Heavy Duty Boots. And he didn't take any damage from my Rocky Helmet, so he is Long Reach. So he really doesn't take any damage, or any passive damage really, against my team. And here I'm just going to go for Protect. I was debating going for the Strength Sap to weaken it, but at the same time, like, I wanted to scout out this moveset and see if he had anything more. If he has just Poltergeist, then it only has 8 PP, and if he wants to click it here, then I'm in a great position, because I can just whistle down his PP on that, and if he doesn't have Brave Bird, then it can never 2-hit KO me. And if he wants to just go for the U-turn, I can scout for that as well. Like, I just want to see what he wants to go for. Long Reach actually means that he can't be affected by Effect Spore as well, which is really nice prep on his part. But yeah, we're just going to see that he goes for a Poltergeist again. At this point, I'm fairly sure he doesn't have anything to really do too much damage to me. As I'm just thinking, okay, well, I can throw off a Sludge Bomb. If he goes into Toxtricity, that's some damage. And I just need to start getting some damage. I need to start punishing that switch in. And because he's not Specs, I know I can actually take a Boomburst from Toxtricity if it comes in, and I can Leech Seed and then Protect and Leech Seed and Protect and all that sort of stuff, like, over and over. That's a good chunk of damage, but it's not fully attacking. And we don't get a poison here, but we do get a poison in the replays. I'll mention it on the showdown part, but yeah, we couldn't recreate this without getting a Sludge Bomb poison, it seemed. So Shay gave up and was like, you know what, it's fine. It won't be making too much of a difference, which really it shouldn't. It doesn't make too much of a difference in the end of the day. And yeah, here I'm just going for a Strength Sap. If he wants to switch out into anything else, then I just get my health back. If he stays in, then I get my health back. Like, this is like a no drawback strength sap. I think the only way it's a drawback is potentially if he goes Toxtricity, but then I could just Leech Seed again, like I said. And he actually goes out into the Rapidash, which is even better for me, because if he is offensive Rapidash, he's at -1. I know my Keldeo can switch in, and I want to scout out what he's going to be doing, and scout out a set a little bit. And we're going to be back up at full health, which is always nice when you've got so many things that this Vileplume can check. I'm not going to stay in. I don't want to take like a potentially like adamant or not adamant, a choice banded Flare Blitz. Like, I have no idea what his set is going to be, but I still don't want to take a Flare Blitz even at -1 until I know what his set is. So I'm just going out to Keldeo, expecting him to want to go for a fire move. Maybe he goes for like a Will-O-Wisp here, or like, he may just try and predict this and go for a Wild Charge or a Play Rough. But I feel like going into Keldeo is kind of safe. Like I said earlier in the Team Builder, I don't think that he's going to have Wild Charge. I think he's going to have Play Rough, and we do have the Roselli Berry. So he's just going to show off the Flare Blitz, and like calculating his damage at -1, that is like virtually no investment in attack as far as I'm aware. Like, it looks like it's fully defensive, and that being the case, I don't expect him to stay in. He doesn't want to take a Scold, and I want to see what I switch into this Keldeo is. And I'm just going to quick flip turn to keep up momentum, because I need to keep the momentum. Now I've got it. He's had the momentum up to this point, so I just need to keep playing kind of aggressively and just keeping the momentum on my side. As he actually goes out into a Azumarill, and that makes me think that maybe this is a Assault Vest variant, but it's hard to tell. I'm just going straight back out into my Vileplume, because if he is Ice Punch, Choice Band Ice Punch, I will be able to find out here. And I should be quicker. I've EV'd this Vileplume to be quicker than what I expect his Azumarill to be. So I should always attack first, and Ice Punch shouldn't ever KO me. So I can always go for a Sludge Bomb and then Strength Sap afterwards. And if he wants to switch out, he can switch out. Now, I don't expect him necessarily to go into the Decidueye again unless it's got Roost. But he's risking the poison if he goes back out into the Decidueye. If he goes into Toxtricity, I've said it like a few times now, any damage on Toxtricity is good damage, because I can just keep whittling it down, and eventually it's going to be in range of things like Mystical Fire from my Indeedee. So some respectable damage. At this point, I know he's got to be Choice Scarf, because that's not AV. Like that, if it was AV, it'd take that much better. And I'm just going to go for the Leech Seed here. I know I can take a Boomburst from a Choice Scarf and what looks like Timid relatively well, and after a Leech Seed, I should be in a good amount of health that I can just click Strength Sap the turn after and be back at full health. So he's going to go for a Boomburst, and he actually gets a crit. And that crit was so powerful that it actually disconnected the game. So blame Shay for the disconnection there, because he should train his mons not to crit. But what can you do? So obviously the crit sucked, and I did ask Shay after this disconnect if he wanted to recreate the crit, and he said it wasn't going to be possible. Like I kind of assumed, he was going to be Choice Scarf. So if he's Choice Scarf and locked into Boomburst, there was no way of him actually being able to get me down to the same amount of damage. There's no way of him getting me back down to that like same amount as a crit. Like, it just wasn't going to be possible. So he said it's not worth it, and we just played without the crit. But without further ado, I'm not going to explain any more, because I explained quite a bit, I think, in the live com, at least at the start. So we're going to move over to Showdown now, and I will see you guys there. Okay, so we're all caught up, and for what is a few seconds for you, has actually been a whole day for us. We decided after the last time, due to time constraints, we were going to go ahead and play it on Sunday instead of Saturday. And so here we are. We have replayed it. Unfortunately, we tried a couple of times, and my Vileplume just refused not to poison the Decidueye. So Decidueye is poisoned, and we haven't played to get the crit. So we're now in this position where we have Vileplume in on his Toxtricity without the crit damage. We're actually not in a bad position at all. We could protect, but I honestly don't think it's worth it. I actually need to get my calc up. I have been all this time without a single calc. Toxtricity, and we know it's not Specs. At least we don't think it's Specs. I think it's probably Scarfed. Let's have a look what roll. He got 55. That's got to be timid to get that much. I think I have to be very, very unlucky to die on this turn. So I'm just going to Strength Sap, and whatever he wants to go into, he can go into. If he crits my Vileplume, then that is a big, big, big rip on on my part. But then again, he did get the crit in the main game, so I can't be too fussy. I can't, like, you win some, you lose some. I'm definitely in a better position because I've got the poison on the Decidueye. Hopefully that doesn't come into any kind of effect. I really hope it doesn't matter in the end. But yeah, we got the poison, and also we didn't get crit by the Boomburst, so yeah. Shout out to Shay for being such a good sport, by the way. Like, we tried a few times, tried a couple of times, and yeah, always got the poison on his Decidueye, and he was like, you know what, just fuck it, it doesn't matter. So yeah, fair play to him. As he goes out into his Rapidash, I think this is just defensive. In all honesty, I think it's just a defensive set. And if that's the case, I actually don't think that it can break my Vileplume at all. That's at level 100, and he is at -1. So there is no reason why this should do really any kind of damage at all. So I'm just going to Strength Sap again. And again, if he crits me, then very unfortunate. Crit would actually kill me, even with no defense investment. No attack investment. It would seem that this is like a defensive set to try and deal with potentially my Weavile. And now he's at this point, I actually can just click Leech Seed, I click Sludge Bomb potentially, just to, like, Sludge Bomb hits quite a lot of his team, so I'm just going to click Sludge Bomb. If he wants to Flare Blitz again, maybe he's trying to get a crit. Maybe just trying to weaken me a little bit, knowing that after a couple of Strength Saps, I'm not going to be able to get too much health back. But I also don't want him to go into Decidueye. He could Roost Up if he goes into Decidueye. Do I just want to go for a Leech Seed? I don't think I do. I think Sludge Bomb is my play. I think, like, even if he goes into Toxtricity, that's then taking some damage. So I definitely think this is my play. I don't know what his set is on this. Potentially as Morning Sun and, like, Will-O-Wisp, potentially. I don't know. If this was a defensive set for my Weavile, then it absolutely makes sense. We're actually going to get some nice chip damage off on this. And once again, we can Leech Seed. So he may just go for the Volt Switch and go out into his... in fact, I could even just Protect and scout what he's going to go for. I don't think he's a Shift Gear set. I think he is actually just Choice Scarf. And if we Leech Seed and he goes into Decidueye, again, that's like not the end of the world at all. So I'm just going to go for Leech Seed. He may Volt Switch. He may well Volt Switch and go back into the Rapidash. That's something could happen. He actually gets a crit on this one, which is interesting. He does get a crit on my Vileplume, but just on a different turn. As he says, there it was. There it was. It was just waiting. I'm going to drop the good old-fashioned XD in the chat. So he does go to Decidueye. Unfortunate, but no, it's not the end of the world. He's taking poison damage because he is now poisoned in this iteration of the game. I'm just going to Strength Sap and weaken whatever he wants to go for. So really, he can't do all too much damage to me. He may be trying to put me in range of the Toxtricity, but Strength Sap kind of just covers whatever he wants to go for. And I think this turn, I may just go for the Sludge... No, I just go for the Leech Seed again. He's going to Boomburst. He's going to try and slowly whittle me down. And I don't think he's ever going to do enough damage here. So he could just Boomburst again, trying to get this damage. Do I just want to go into my Goodra? I think I might want to go Goodra here. I could also Protect. Protect is also a play I could do. And if he goes out into anything, surely he's going out into the Vileplume. He might go into the Urshifu. If he goes Urshifu, I do lose him on. So that isn't ideal. I don't know how much Strength Sap is actually going to get me back from this. But I'm just going to go into my Goodra. Like, realistically, I could just stay in. There's not a lot he can actually do here. Yeah, I'm just going to stay in. I'm going to Strength Slap again. He's really struggling to break through this, as he actually gets a really high roll, I believe, on that. And this turn I'm just going to go for the Protect. And he's going to die to whatever move I use next, effectively. He may protect the Protector. Definitely possible. But I want to keep this... Yeah, he goes out to Rapidash. That's a good play from him. Do I just want to Protect again? Yeah, I'm just going to Protect again. Get a little bit more recovery back. If he's SD, then that is a little bit of a problem. We do have our Keldeo in the back that can take at least one hit from this Rapidash, and should be fine. If he gets up to +2 with what looks like no attack investment, that's a little bit scary, but it's really not the end of the world. If he's fully attack invested and I just didn't notice that, that's a different story. But we could be in for quite a long game here. He does just Flare Blitz. His Fire Plume is obviously it's annoying him a little bit. I could make a middle ground play into my Goodra, but realistically it's still the only thing that's stopping Toxtricity from doing whatever it wants. As low as it is still a problem for me. Honestly, I kind of want to just go Keldeo here. If he predicts that and goes into his Toxtricity on that turn, then it is what it is. And here I think I want to fire off a Scold. Like, Scold seems like a kind of no drawback play. Also, I do want to kind of flip turn in case he wants to go to Decidueye. Flip turn seems really, really obvious. If he goes to Decidueye, do I 2-hit KO from this range? I very much doubt it. I think he's quite especially defensive. Seems very unlikely, but he would roost if he's got it. He would roost on that turn. He actually doesn't have an offensive move to hit me. Well, obviously, Poltergeist is going to hurt. Now, do I want to keep up momentum? I mean, I realistically don't have a good switch into this, so I'm just going to Scold. He may predict that and go into like Azumarill or something. I really can't let Azumarill set up. Actually, no, I got Samira in the back. I'm fine to let... I'm just going for a flip turn. Is flip turn doing enough to Rapidash, actually? I think Scolding is fine. I could have flip turn there. Flip turn would be a nice play. Does 15%. A little bit annoying. We know he doesn't have priority on this. Or we're assuming he doesn't have priority on this, at least. Because I'm assuming his last move is Roost. So I'm going to flip turn, going to go back out. Once again. Back again once again with the... actually, I could flip turn and go into my Skarmory. I don't know if we outsped it earlier. Let me have a little scroll through. Was there a turn in which I stayed in? I don't know if there was. No, I don't think there was a turn in which I actually stayed in. That's going to do a solid 9%. Poltergeist will 2-hit KO that on the switch in. It didn't do as much to my Skarmory, so if he does go for the Poltergeist here, then we're not in a bad position. I could have gone into Vileplume there. Definitely could have done that. So he's probably going to just click Volt Switch again. I don't think by any means it's worth going into Vileplume. I think I just always go Goodra. And it may be very, very predictable, but I can kind of play around the rest of his team relatively well. If he goes into Azumarill here, then I 100% go hard into Skarmory and get a Toxic off. Like, at some point he's going to have to play more aggressive. Like, his Decidueye is unfortunately going to go down to poison. I think it's very unfortunate that it's poisoned. I mean, again, like, we tried to recreate without the poison, but a couple of times it didn't work. So it's very unfortunate, but it's the game we play. Gudra's doing a real nice job of just checking this Toxtricity at the moment. Honestly, if he goes into a Azumarill, he may just want to go for like a Mega Up Ice, a nice move to be honest. That'll hit a lot on my team. So I can't go into Vileplume on it, I would have to go Skarmory. But we'll see. Obviously no timer on Showdown, so we're not having to worry too much about that. We can actually think about our moves before we click them. We can do calcs and stuff as well. Yeah, Urshifu, this thing's a problem. How much am I taking from this Urshifu? If it is choice band, it's killing. It's straight up, it's killing from this range. Man. What is more helpful to me at this point? I mean, regardless, I can come in afterwards and click Dazzling Gleam. He doesn't. Well, actually, I can click Hyper Voice. He doesn't have a Hyper Voice switch in, and I'm pretty sure this is not going to appreciate Hyper Voice. It does take it. It's unfortunate. I think he just clicks Wicked Blow here, and then I would have to go for the Gleam. He probably goes into Rapidash. Skarmory more important or less important than Vileplume at this point? I think it's... man, it's arguably less important. The Rocky Helmet Chip would be nice. I mean, regardless, I'm not taking a hit from this. Like, in any world, I don't think I'm taking a hit. I can take one. I can definitely take one. And I can roost up on it, but like he's going for Wicked Blow probably here. Like, he has no reason not to click Wicked Blow. But what was my late game looking like with Rabombi? Like, Rabombi, I think, will take one unless he goes for Iron Head. And we can honestly just go for a Moonblast. Like, looking at his team, I don't think this is actually like that important. Because I know I can revenge this. Yeah, I'm going to go into my Rabombi. It's a loose play, but okay, that is not as much as I thought it was going to. Is it not banded? So it did 57%, which makes me think actually maybe choice Scarf. If that's the case, can my Skarmory take 2 from where it's at 66? No. No, I can't. He may also fear Scarf Rabombi. I don't know what item this thing is. Like, honestly, is losing Rabombi the worst thing here? Like, its matchup isn't incredible. I think I'm just gonna click Moonblast. And this will give me information whether or not he's Scarfed. It's a very risky play, but honestly, I don't feel like I have any others. Like, it's still 2-hit KOing everything else on my team. Like, Skarmory can take this 1v1 afterwards. Like, I can go into Vileplume and also take this 1v1. So I'm just going to go for Moonblast. This is fine. This is damage. And I'm just going to click U-turn. Do I outspeed this? Do I know I outspeed this? 179. I believe that's fast enough to outspeed Rapidash at max speed. Yeah, it is. Like Psychic, it's not quite in range. How much does that Moonblast do? 24%? It's definitely got some HP investment. It's probably 252 in HP. With heavy duty boots would be my assumption. But I don't know what his moveset is. I can bring in my Keldeo again. And he's just going to Morning Sun. Okay, that's fine. I got a free Scold, effectively, here. Because if he wants to go into something like Blastoise or Azumarill, then I can Toxic it on the next turn. So yeah, I'm just going to click Scold, and he really doesn't have many good switch-ins at this point. As the Decidueye goes down, actually, I could have made a double out into Skarmory and tried to roost up or something. But like, if you just click Flare Blitz, I'm pretty sure I died. So I don't think that was ever worth it. If you click Wild Charge, it would have done a good chunk of damage. Actually, if he's no attack investment, I would live one Flare Blitz for Skarmory from where I'm at. But this is seeming scarfed. And I think he's going to go for the Volt Switch. He's almost definitely going to go for the Volt Switch here. I know for a fact I don't take one. I really wish I had the Wakan Berry, because I'd be in a position where I could actually stay in. If he gets Urshifu in again, big problem for me. He could also just go in for the Boomburst. Like, do I just sack off the Rabombi? Does Rabombi actually live a Choice Scarf? Toxtricity. Does it live a Choice Scarf? Timid. Volt Switch. No, it doesn't. This is 100% Scarf, the way he's brought it in. What is Vileplume doing at this point? Like, honestly, it's not doing a whole ton for me. So I'm just going to go into Vileplume. If he goes for Boomburst, good play, but I think, yeah, he's just going for the Volt Switch. And this puts the most pressure on his team. I'm not sure if you can hear my girlfriend in the back. But if you can, I do apologise. It happens fairly frequently in my videos. So at this point, it's really not, like, it's really not to be not expected. Nice double negative. I think at this point we just need to play well around his, like, around this Toxtricity. It's still got health, which is annoying. It's very annoying indeed. Like, it's still alive, and I don't like that. But at the same time, like, he's probably going for Boomburst next time. Like, I think next turn he's probably going for Boomburst. And if that's the case, we do get a, well, at this point, very free Earthquake off. With Goodra, he could go into Azumarill on that. But honestly, I don't know what that Azumarill set is. It's max HP, but that's to be expected. Outside of that, we know nothing of Blastoise, which I'm going to assume is like a Shell Smash sweeper. So I really do be careful not to let me get set up, get killed by that. As he goes back into the Rapidash, this thing's annoying. As I'm just going to protect. I always want to try and keep my health up with this. That's like the main thing I'm looking for. Just need to keep as much HP on it as I can. He just goes for Flare Blitz again. Like, he only has a finite amount of switch-ins to Keldeo. I say switch-ins, like, I think this time I would just go for a Scold, or would I just go for Toxic? Could also Flip Turn. Flip Turn and almost claim a kill with Indeedee. But I am slowly getting worn away. I could also just click Aura Sphere. That's also a play I could make. I want to probably just Flip Turn and see what he goes into, and if he doesn't go into, like, Toxtricity, then actually he's going to go Toxtricity here, try and predict. how much is this doing to my Vileplume? Do I just die from Rapidash? From this range? He has got no investment. 67. Yeah, I still just drop from this range. He may expect me to go into my Keldeo. I could also just sack something here, but I think the Keldeo switch is just so obvious. Yeah, I'm going to go Keldeo. Like, it's certainly an obvious play, and that's why I don't want to click it. Like, the middle ground would be going into my Goodra, but he really hasn't shown anything on his set. It worries me. How much is my Goodra going to take from this Rapidash? Oh, it's got Play Rough. I mean, if it's got Play Rough, I would have thought by now he would have clicked it. Yeah, I'm going to go Goodra. He does have Play Rough. Man, that sucks. That really sucks. That's a good play from him. I should have just gone for go out to my Keldeo again. That would have been a safe play, safe middle ground play. I mean, that did 41, so I'm just in range. Oh, that's annoying. That's really annoying. Maybe I just like, do I still take a hit from Shell Smash Blastoise? At +2, I can actually still take 1, but it's starting to look more and more like I'm going to lose to Blastoise. I do need to make a read at some point around this Rapidash. It's getting kind of annoying. He would have to go for Play Rough again to take me out, but realistically, like, I don't have a good switch in. I think at this point I can just sack off my Ribombee. Ribombee's nice for revenging or coming back in on Urshifu. He doesn't actually know my set on it. Do I still need Vileplume that much? It's kind of nice for his Azumarill. Do I need Skarmory? Skarmory's giving momentum every time, but I do need it for, like, Urshifu. This is a really tough position to be in. Honestly, I think Ribombee is my most expendable mon here. And this will then give me my Indeedee. Can Indeedee just cancel this? Can Indeedee kill Rapidash with max health? Rapidash, SD, 252 in HP. I mean, Expanding Force is going to hurt. Like, I kind of just put my Keldeo in. You know what, I'm going to go Keldeo here. So he's going to play off again. I'll take this with a Roselli Berry. We'll actually potentially take another one of them. And I'm going to fire off a Scald. Because if we can get a burn on pretty much anything on his team here, then we're in a great position. I don't think he ever wants to lose Toxtricity. Like, that was such a careless play. I should have just stayed in. I should have just gone Keldeo on that turn, because Keldeo is always a switch in. It's always a switch in. Also, sorry, that's really peaky, and I may have to cut out the slap of the hands there, because if it was really peaky, then I'm not going to be keeping it in the recording. Otherwise, your ears will just burst. I could also flip turn, but I don't know. I don't think flip turn's a play because I outspeed everything on his team. We still don't know what his Urshifu set is. Whether it's Choice Scarf, or whether it's like a bulk up set. I could see either, to be honest. All we know is that he's not banded from the damage that he did earlier. It's either that or Ribombee just took that hit exceptionally well. If we can get rid of this Rapidash, that would be just so nice for me. Honestly, like, flip turning wouldn't be the worst play. Like, flip turning gets me my Vileplume in, and I think having Vileplume in is my way of winning. But at the same time, if he just stays in, like, flip turn is just not doing enough. Honestly, it's a roll. Okay, he stayed in. We made the right play. Okay, nice. The Rapidash is gone, and that thing put in far more work than I would have liked it to put in. Now the Toxtricity comes back out. And I'm pretty sure it can just click Boomburst. Or it's going to just click Boomburst. Do I want to keep this thing around? If he's not Scarf on Urshifu, then potentially I do. Yeah, because Rabombi can't take a hit from it, but Keldeo should be able to take a Wicked Blow at least from a non-choice banded variant from range. Yeah, it should do. I think I sack off my Rabombi here and play accordingly. I think that's my play. So you just got a Boomburst. I thought that's what he would do, but at the same time, it just wasn't worth. Like, it was the best stack I had, effectively. And I should be able to take this just fine. And at this point, I probably just want to fire off a Thunderbolt. Does Thunderbolt kill this from here? Toxtricity. Thunderbolt, yeah, I should kill from here. Thunderbolt catches most things on the switch in. So I don't, like, he's got no real good switch-ins to a Thunderbolt here. If we get rid of the Toxtricity, then we're not in a bad position by any means. It could go into Blastoise and Shell Smash. I think... Do we just lose if you click Shell Smash on that turn? We could just lose. There is a chance. A lot of my team has been weakened at this point. But he may also want to keep this Toxtricity around. Boomburst do 24 to 28. I think Indeedee should be able to take a +2 hit from Blastoise. I know that's potentially a little bit hopeful. Yeah, that's very hopeful. Goes to Zoom Roll. Cool. That was a crit. I'm sorry. That was a crit. I feel bad about that. He will go into Urshifu next. And if that's the case, like, can Blastoise actually kill my Keldeo even from the range it's at the moment? Yeah, it can. Hydro Pump can. If he has Surf is it's a roll. It's a good roll in his favor. He may just want to go for the Aqua Jet to get some damage. I actually think I'm going to go Skarmory here. Do I lose anything if I go Skarmory? Skarmory, Azumarill. If he is choice band, I think Liquidation would be the hardest it can hit me with. 45, 54. Like, we can keep roosting. Does it put us in a position to lose? No, it doesn't. I'm going to go into Skarmory. I'm going to click Perish Song. Okay, he's that set. Interesting. Definitely surprised that he stayed in. No, stayed in. He didn't. Like, I could have just clicked the move there. What do I want to do? Like, Dazzling Gleam is pretty free at this point. This set is very annoying. He's going to go for a Whirlpool here. So What is my play? He might be Sap. Is he Sap Sipper then? He's probably gonna be Sap Sipper, considering the set. If I'm thinking he's going Whirlpool, I can go for Indeedee and lock myself into Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, he is Whirlpool. That is fine. Like, Dazzling Gleam should absolutely just kill from here. And it means that he can't bring in the Urshifu. Does Dazzling Gleam kill Toxtricity from here? Dazzling Gleam, yeah, it should. And that definitely prevents him, unless he is actually Scarfed Urshifu, definitely prevents him from going into Urshifu here. Maybe should have gone for Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice would have still been like a 2-hit KO on Urshifu. Would have done more to Blastoise. I think that was a bit of a misplay. Would I just want the damage on Blastoise if he was to go for Shell Smash? Dazzling Gleam, it's not doing a terrible amount of damage. Like, the way he's playing Blastoise, I think it's almost definitely going to be Shell Smash. I should have gone for Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice pretty much was like a guaranteed, yeah, this could be a problem. This could be a problem. I think I'd have to see what set he is. That was a misplay. If I had gone for Hyper Voice, I don't give him the free setup. So if we lose this, entirely my own fault. Like, he doesn't know I'm Scarfed here though. I think he's got to assume that I'm Scarfed. By the way, I've locked myself into Gleam. Yeah, just trying to think of what my play here is. Nothing on my team, I believe, takes the hits at this point. I think giving him the free setup is the worst thing I can do. Hyper Voicing would have been just absolutely the right play. So I'm a little bit mad I did that. Like, as long as he doesn't get set up to +2, then I think I'm okay. Maybe I just had to go into Goodra. With Goodra, Thunderbolt. Hope for the paralysis. I think that's what I gotta do. There's a Shell Smash. If he's physical, then certainly very unfortunate. We'll see on this turn if he's physical. If I just gone for a Hyper Voice, we'd be in a much better position. Actually, Urshifu was less of a threat than Blastoise, I think. But there's definitely a chance we just lose here. It depends, I think, on whether he's physical or special. I think it just depends if he's physical or special. Like, honestly, that's Surf. Yeah, we still don't take that unless he's timid. Yeah, we still don't take that. Like, if he's timid, then there's a chance that we actually we take one with Keldeo. I think Aura Sphere should do a good chunk to it. I don't know if I would want to Toxic it instead and then just protect with Vileplume, because Vileplume potentially could see out the end game. Like, honestly, Keldeo is not doing all too much for me. If he doesn't have Ice Beam, that's just like the best. But, okay, he's physical, right? If he is actually fully physical, how well is my Skarmory taking this on? Let's go, yes, physical Shell Smash. You hope that's a physical Shell Smash. It's also... okay, well, it doesn't appear there is, so I'm going to have to spend a moment just doing this. Calc, if he is adamant. Liquidation. If he's mixed, then he just wins. Like, effectively, he just wins. Like, I am very defensive. I think going Keldeo and Toxking is my play regardless, because it gives me most options. Ice Punch. Liquidation, because Adamant will kill. On Keldeo. Oh, he's double 100. Plus 2 attack. That shouldn't kill. I'm going to scout with Keldeo. I'm going to go for the Toxic. We get to scout to see what set he is. Like, if he is Liquidation, then we still have a chance. Send Headbutt. Okay. So I think he is fully physical. In which case, I'm gonna have to go out into my Skarmory and just kinda hope that, yeah, we should be able to live. If he has got Surf, then we die and we lose this game. It's kind of just how it is, sadly. Shell Smashes again. If he's at +4, he's doing a lot of damage. Gonna click. I should have just clicked Toxic on that turn, but would I have died? I think I would have just died. He's at -1 defense. How low do I have to get him? 51 to 60. He's doing, I think, too much damage. I think he's doing too much damage. I think my best play is just keep roosting. Like, honestly, I think that's my best play, is just keep spamming roost. That does 69. Sorry, 59.9. So he may actually just be Jolly. If I roost again, like, he can go Toxtricity, but if I'm at full, I don't mind as much. He's at -2. 67. He's at +6 attack. He's doing a lot of damage. How much is that putting him down to? Oh man, this is a scary endgame. If I just body pressed on that turn, be in a great place. But it is what it is. It's at -2. I don't even know how much HP investment he's got. 67. Does like 16% to it. It'll go down to 68. I think it comes down to a roll on this body press as to whether I kill or not. And we will just most likely lose. unless we get the effects ball on Vileplume. I honestly don't think I got a better play, so I just gotta go for it. Goes down to 67, and we kill. Okay. Whew. Man, if he wasn't physical, I think we just lost that. But we should be able to actually just win with Indeedee and clicking Dazzling Gleam. So, unless he's Roselli Berry, I think we just win with Indeedee. It's going to go Toxtricity, to be expected. This is going to be a tight endgame still, I think. On the off chance that he goes for something that's not going to kill me, I'm just going to go for Body Press, because realistically I still can't even take a hit from where I'm at. And then I've got to go into my Indeedee, and if he's Scarfed and he's been playing it this entire time, then well played, sir. If it's Roselli Berry, it's Roselli Berry. It's not. I think we actually just win. I think at this point, this should just be able to pick up the kill. Oh, that was... I apologise for the noise there. That was a tense game. That was on Wi-Fi. It's definitely not going to like that extent. We would have like timed out 15-20 turns ago. But yeah, good game to Shay. Really good guy. Make sure to go and check him out. He is genuinely one of the best content creators I know. And despite me fucking up my words, we now move to 3-3. I think -7 still, just because we got our ass handed to us in the last couple of games. So we're working our way from quite a deficit. But that was a really fun game. Lots of predictions had to be made, lots of middle grounds. Like, there's a lot to process, I think, in this game. But yeah, good game to Shay. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Draft League content, as well as plenty of other content. Like, I'm going to be trying to post, in fact, it'll probably be a week just gone, where I'm going to be posting hopefully daily content. That's the plan. Probably won't keep to it because it's me. But yeah, subscribe and you should be able to see all of them if you haven't subscribed and seen it already. I don't know, I'm just rambling on. So until next one, have a great day, guys. Peace.